Hey folks, my name is Pravus. Welcome to more Frostpunk 2 with the new Breach of Trust DLC and a story in New Edinburgh. This has been a challenging as heck run so far, but we completed Act 1 last time around and we conquered Aurora. Aurora is a fishing village that had declared independence from us. And they're not in good shape right now. Everything is shut down. They have no fuel, no heat, no nothing. So of course, we're gonna have to fix that basically immediately. Let's plan out some resource transfers. This is one of the reasons I so strongly recommended that you research skyways, because I need to get those set up ASAP. That is an absolute requirement. But let's send them some coal for sure. We know they need that. We can send myself a bit of food, but like not a lot. They have a stockpile and it's full, so it's a thing, but it only will do so much for a little while. They have materials, which is good. We can give them some goods, which is nice, but really it's gonna come down to giving them enough of the fuel and stuff to stay alive. But otherwise, our economy is okay. If we could just get the food figured out, we're not looking that bad. Let's go ahead and begin that transfer. That gives them some stockpile to work with. For some reason, it gave them a full 50,000, but let's turn on the generator. So that's a thing, and let's start thinking about what we want to work with. So in Aurora, the game has changed by a lot. First off, as far as food is concerned, there are plenty of sources, and they're infinite. But they do require a special district called a fishing hub, and we're gonna have to place one down at each, which requires a lot of materials and stuff to keep them running. So that's gonna be expensive for us. And even then, they do not produce nearly as much food as you might think. In this case, an output of 50 food. That's it. It's not great, it's not absolutely amazing, but we can make it work. Also, all of their districts are like really stupidly placed. Like, why do you have your housing district so far from your generator? Explain that one to me. It can't be done. It can't be done. So what we should be doing is probably dismantling some of this and saying, hey, maybe do a little heckin' relocation? Something a little bit closer to take advantage of some heat, do you think? Maybe? It's not great, but it saves them 1.25 temperature levels. I mean, geez, dude. But before we do any of that, let's just turn everything that we know we need on and see what this does for us, because we're about to burn through a lot more of our heat, unfortunately. Looks like no matter what, we still don't have enough housing districts, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Also, we need to repair these fishing hubs ASAP, otherwise we have no food. And according to my quest, I actually need to build 2 more. Which means we're gonna have to do some frost breaking in a couple of key areas, free some of this up quickly. There are some prefabs and stuff over here, which is nice. Could work all the way over here to these, but they do require extra materials. There's a lot of materials to be had if we do want to get that far, but I'm not sure that's strictly worth it. Might be better to work toward like these 3, for example, get the prefabs on the way, or we could just focus on getting a much easier food source like over here, which is fine too. But remember, you have to break out 3 tiles at a bare minimum because that's just how they're shaped. They are intentionally awkward. Good thing I have a bunch of prefabs and some heat stamps sitting around, huh? It's almost like I was trying to prepare for this. Now, on top of preparing for this, let's prepare for the people. So the people are kind of mad. We did just conquer them. We've got 2 new factions in our, I guess, our little city radius that I have to now worry about. We've got the Lochmoors, who are going to be opposing us. They are the equivalent of the Four Fingers. And we have the Tinkers. Everyone hates me right now because we just forcefully subjugated them. Gee, I wonder why that might make them so mad. And we ran out of food over here, so this all comes at a rough time. Okay, so that's now done. New Edinburgh is once again about to starve. Let's get down over here and see if we can't build out some of these much-needed fishing hubs. One goes here, and another one goes up here. We're gonna need to build way more than they're saying right now, by the way. Like, this is nowhere near enough. I mean, we're already at minus 200 just here alone. Now, that gives you an idea. And I honestly do strongly recommend you build a few new things over here if you can afford it. Such as a surveillance tower. We're gonna need some guards. Why? Well, crime's gonna be pretty nasty here for a bit. Plus, you can imagine that maybe the Lochmoors and the Tinkers are going to cause some trouble in the city, and I can't allow that. I think one thing we should definitely consider doing is try to build up some skyways, because I need to increase the capacity of trade between these cities. Otherwise, we are going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, we have a new quest. We need to feed New Edinburgh. This means that we're gonna have to send a surplus of 300 food or so to the city. I mean, for now, they only want like 100, which is Not a lot. It seems perfectly reasonable. They should be able to supply this, right? Like, that's okay. Which we can immediately do, because we have that food, so that's not a big deal. But we've reached our limit. The colony's furnace simply cannot keep up with this demand. Feeding both Aurora and New Edinburgh is physically impossible without a radical overhaul that comes at a cost. We have to relinquish a thermal hull. You guys may remember that from last time. That's exactly what they told us they needed, and we're like, frick it, we're gonna conquer you anyway. Turns out they might have known what they were talking about. So yeah, that was, oh boy, I'm honestly unconvinced that the conquest route is the best way to go in this DLC, mainly because if it's going to end up in the same way, then we might have just done something peaceably about this, and maybe that would have been better. Maybe? I don't know. The problem is, in order to do this, we're going to have to pass another governance law, which means you need your people to really, really, really like you. And unfortunately, they don't really, really, really like me. Yet. So, that's a problem. Unfortunately, my big problem right now is that I'm completely out of funds, so I have to raise some from the factions, and yet somehow I'm also gonna have to make them really happy. That's a problem, guys. That is a problem. Like, if I wanted to go to governance right here and do generation relocation, yeah, that's not good. 75 opposed. Ouch. Okay. What about Auroran suffrage? A little bit better. This would be good because it's going to make the Aurorans a lot happier. But it also makes everyone else a lot more upset. So it's like, uh-oh, this is not great, guys. A lot of this gets solved if I can just fix the food problem, because the lack of stores there is what's killing me. So I really need to figure that out, man. But at least with the Skyway built, now in theory, I can improve our trade situation by a lot. So we can kind of even out the coal situation. To an extent, it's still not enough. Aurora really needs to have their own heat somehow. That's kind of my problem, is like, I have to somehow transfer tons and tons and tons of food, and yet I also have to transfer tons and tons and tons of coal. This can only do so much. At least I can send a few transports and kind of manually balance a few things out, and that's okay. So, they'll be alright, eventually. One way to help with that a little bit might be to get some freight docks built up. Do this and you get 300 more trading capacity. Not bad. Might need it. Think I do. Ugh. Unhoused people are dying in Aurora. I'm trying to build up your housing, dang it. I'm trying. Why didn't you have enough to begin with? This was so foolish. Ah, and here's a problem. Alright, so, remember how I said that people don't like me? Yeah, that's because we have something new going on. Resistance. They are periodically going to shut down some of my districts. Again, kind of like the way that protests work. I am going to... I could round them up, but I don't think this is going to do much for me. I'm going to try to patrol some districts and see if I can't prevent them from shutting things down on me. Because this is this right here, alright? We got widespread resistance because of the prolonged occupation. If we had used things like heavy weapons, this would be substantially worse. And this is one of the reasons I recommend you get those guard squads, because this does a lot to protect your district so that they are back to working and start quelling some of this resistance. We need to do that. So I need more guard squads. Of course, for that to work, I need more, you know, heat stamps. Gonna have to upset the four fingers, unfortunately. That's just how it's gonna be. Because I know right now, if I don't get myself a couple more of these surveillance watchtowers, it will eventually come back to bite me. So let's build these while I can. Plus, I need, guess what? More food! I mean, this is all I need just to maintain at the very minimum keeping these guys alive, let alone New Edinburgh. Ah, this second act is quite tough, because now we're just dealing with a totally separate issue, but like, how am I supposed to live here? How am I supposed to beat this? This is tough, man. And let's not forget that tremors are still a thing. We are still gonna get hit. Time to hold a vote to see if I'm gonna stay the first citizen. Oh, not even slightly worried. Dude, I've solved so many of your problems. The city still stands. We conquered Aurora. If you're not happy with me now, I don't know what to tell you. 84 out of the simple majority needed. We're good for another 99 weeks. Hooray! Oh, more insurgents attacking. Okay, let's go ahead and do a patrol right there. And we'll do a patrol right there. That should be the 3 that we needed. Oh, hold on. There's more up here. Hello. Oh man, I didn't even know you guys could do a 4th attack. You could send your platoons if you had heavy weaponry, but I don't. So that's a problem. I will be honest, I didn't know they could do another 3. I thought they could only do a number 2. which is why I hadn't built another round of watchtowers, because I didn't think I needed it, and now I'm kind of wondering if I do. Ugh. Literally not enough heat stamps to go around, folks. Why do you guys be pushing me this way? I didn't ask for this. We will get more ways of dealing with the tension and the resistance here. It's just going to take a little bit of time. That's dealt with. All right, so food production's back up. What do we have here? People in the walls. We've had to quarter our soldiers in their homes. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Send your soldiers to live in the homes of the people we just conquered. That's not going to come back to bite me at all. Now, they want me to build 3 barracks here within the next 30 weeks. Do that, and the tension of this colony goes down by a lot. Okay, that sounds like a very good idea. If only it weren't expensive to do so. Here's some of those events I was talking about. All right. Retribution! Some of our officers have taken it upon themselves to round up the chiefs of the Aurora clans for me to decide their fates. Yeah, now we have to decide what we're going to do with them. They left us famished, they marked us for death. I say we repay them in kind. People are kind of mad. We could grant general amnesty, which is going to reduce a little trust and placates the resistance. We could impose war reparations, which gets me the heat stamps I need, but the resistance goes up by a lot. We could hang the leaders, which really deters the resistance, but we lose a lot of trust. So the question here is, do I accept the resistance in order to gain the heat stamps? I'm tempted to do so, mainly because if we do this, it is going to do a lot as far as letting me build up the economy I need to sustain both cities, and then they kind of start solving themselves, right? I think we're going to do that, even though placating the resistance seems good. We're kind of committed, sort of, to the war path. We're not exactly being nice to them, but we don't have to be very nice. I say we go for it. 750 heat stamps is just huge. Absolutely massive. So we're going to use that to get myself at least a couple more of these fishing grounds, and then we're going to be looking like we're in pretty okay shape. This also means I can continue working on research, which I think is great because we need the freight dock in order to boost up our trade and supply them with everything they need, minus, of course, the food. And we can get those barracks up and running since we knew that was something that people were demanding anyway. So we'll place down, I don't know, 1, 2, I don't care, 3. Boom, problem solved. All right, so that'll help with that. Gotta be careful with my prefabs for a bit, though. We're making 54 a week, but a tremor's gonna hit soon. Another event here. Talk to the Guts. The Aurorans want to join the council. This quarrel between us was always about food, then so be it. We'll bide and waste away with hunger until we're heard. Right, yeah, hunger strikes. That's definitely a way to make me like you. So we're gonna try to pass Auroran suffrage, which would improve my relations with them, or we could just let them starve, but this is ultimately the direction I think we need to go anyway. We'll have our war reps, but really, we do want to reconcile. It is in our best interest to do that. Let's take a look at that generator oh my god, the relocation is literally impossible right now. And no one wants to do Auroran suffrage either. Oh, good lord. Yeah, getting my people happy enough to do this is going to be shockingly difficult. What's driving them down right now? It's the recent deaths, raise funds, and of course the inadequate food stocks, which, like, I mean, that should be improving bit by little bit. One big problem I can see is that the algae refinery is literally about to die. So with that, then my food situation once again gets worse. So the amount of food that I've currently got over here in Aurora is, again, not enough. Ugh. No, insurgents, no, 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 stop it. They're not making it easy on me, are they? No, sir. I do have one problem here. I don't know if there's a bug or what. I have to grant an agenda on the founders, but I'm unable to do so because there's no laws that they want to propose. And if I can't negotiate with all 3 of these guys, I can't pass suffrage, and I can't pass the whole thing. So none of that is possible right now. That's not good. Okay, now we're getting closer to something I can work with here. So 2 factions like me now, which means I could possibly get Auroran suffrage. What about the generator relocation? Because that's also kind of important. No, that one's going to take a lot more. But I bet you if we can get the Lockmores and the Tinkers on our side with this, it could still work. So if I were to propose this and negotiate with like 1 or 2 factions, that might be all I need. Pretty close, to be honest. Let me try this. This is something we have to pass no matter what. I really, really, really want the reconciliation to begin. And that starts with, representation of people that hate me? Ugh. But okay, we met a demand, so that's a thing now. And now everyone's mad at me again, but we got through one step, that's important. Gosh dang it, insurgents, go away! I just started placing these! Fine, you know what? I haven't even built these yet. I'll demolish those districts. What are you attacking now? Nothing! See? That's an effective way of dealing with it. Can't fight me in those jobs if there are no jobs. Haha! And we got tremors again. Leave me alone, I don't like it. And the game crashed. Not happy about that. There we go, now it hit. Of course it hit every single one of my housing districts. Why not? Oh my god. Good thing that I had, you know, my emergency shelters all around there. I mean, no one died, so we'll call that a win, but people are gonna die of the cold now because it's impossible to repair this fast enough. I kid you not. Yeah, generator relocation, man. We've got 30 votes now, thanks to the Lockmores and the Tinkers. Because they know they need this. But everyone else, not so much. So until I get them into a revered state, or I can make a lot of promises, I'm not sure this is going to work. And since I can't do anything with the founders, since I can't grant an agenda, then that's not going to do me a lot of good either. One thing I'd like to do is find more uses for my steam cores, because we're not really taking advantage of those right now, and those are obviously very powerful buildings. If only I could get better hothouses, I would totally consider that, but that means nothing with my outpost, so that's not going to do me a lot of good. It really comes down to, do I want more goods, factories, materials? Do I want to start making charcoal? Blah, blah, blah. We do need to get filtration towers at some point, but I think one thing we could do is just go for a generator upgrade. This will make my heat even more effective, which is nice. And out in the Frostlands, I have been discovering a few sources of oil. It's not a lot. I wouldn't be able to rely heavily on it. But considering it's going to be getting colder before it gets warmer, not a bad idea, I think. Is there a way I can negotiate this here? Like, even without the founders? Like, the brokers, would you be open to this? Hold a vote on labor oversight. Like, if I do that, that gets me some votes, sure. So let's say I did that, and then I tried to negotiate with the Four Fingers for, I don't know, a research this. See, yeah, without the founders, it's impossible. And we're about to antagonize the founders because I can't fulfill the quest that I never agreed to do. It just made me do it. Where's my secret service when I need it? That's what I need right now. Handshake, Aurora reclaimed. The Aurorans are joining our council. Decades of blood, bitterness, and mistrust rage around us. In the center, it's me and the Lochmore Elder. Who's gonna offer their hand first? Offer mine, tension goes down. Wait for him, tension goes up, trust rises. No one should apologize. Seems like a dumb idea. Nah. I am waiting until you offer it. You must acknowledge your faults. You betrayed us. I mean, yeah, the last captain was a bit of a jerk, but that's beside the point. You can't do that. Yes, founders, I know you're about to get peeved. I'm sorry. Okay. Now can I propose this law? Build a hospital. Yeah, wouldn't be a bad idea, I suppose. I definitely have to negotiate with a third faction, and that's going to be the Four Fingers here. Construct, research, prefabs factory, maybe. Do this, and I think we literally have the exact number of votes that I need. Unless I need 67. There we go. Just one little bit of bribery here gets me one extra vote that I'm looking for. 67 should be a guarantee that this is gonna work. All right. We're making progress. It's gonna make everyone very angry, but it's progress. Gosh, dang it. Go away, you stupid resistance people. I'm trying to placate you. Gosh, dang it, I'm trying. Gosh, this is tough. Previously, it was just dealing with, we're literally gonna starve to death. Now it's like, we gotta play politics. And somehow, politics is actually worse. I don't know how I'm supposed to help reduce this freaking resistance still. Like, that's the other problem. What else can I do? I can try to reduce some of your fervor. Would that help? I don't know. It's the prolonged occupation that's a problem. Like, do I need to move the platoons? If I could do that, would that solve the problem? I don't know. And do I even want to? Because it's not like I trust you people. What would it take to remove this thermal hole? Higher heat output will increase casualties in the process. Well, that's not exactly good, is it? But, I mean, like, okay, We have to start that process. It's going to make people pretty angry. Apparently it takes a very long time to dismantle part of the generator. And people are very mad at me. This is not saving Edinburgh, it's murdering it. I like, by the way, I can't do a Scottish accent to save my life, but I like that they actually did try to write that in there. That's funny. I guess one thing I could do, I could disband some of my platoons. Would this help? Would this actually deal with some of the occupation? It actually might. It's not like I'm using them for anything right now, so let's try that and see what happens here. Does that disband anything? Doesn't seem to have changed the prolonged occupation yet. Maybe it will eventually. Looks like we have managed to dismantle this, so now I need to ship the thermal hull. Oh yeah, this is exactly why I can't build up the generator, by the way. We're missing this thermal hull, so you can't have a level 2. Okay, wish I hadn't wasted the heat stamps on that sucker. All right, but how do I ship it? I think I go to a logistics district, and there it is. Ship the hull. Takes 30 teams to do, and it'll take several weeks to arrive. In the meantime, another tremor is imminent! Ah! Just as the tremor arrives, here comes the furnace upgrade. We have upgraded the furnace. Now it has the capacities nearly enough to rival a generator. Now it's time to increase food production and feed New Edinburgh. Now here's what they want me to do. Increase the food output in Aurora to 300. Guess what I did a long time ago? So we're at 780 right now. Now we have to reduce their resistance to scattered or lower. Oh, I would love nothing better than to do exactly that. But you guys really don't seem to want to do that. It is slowly going down. It takes time. It was widespread, now it's active. As long as I have enough guards to keep fighting them and pushing them away, eventually this will get better. One more tremor. Here we go. Edinburgh is still a death trap, guys. Let's not forget that. There is still a threat. Oh, God, right over here. Ow, 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 ow. That just made so many people angry at me. It might be time to rearrange this and try placing an emergency shelter over here somewhere, just to reduce the chance of that happening in the future. Okay, looks like the resistance actually did passively burn down just enough, which is fine. So now we have to be transferring 300 food from Aurora to New Edinburgh, which we are actually doing already, and then some. So if I can maintain this for 25 weeks, we will complete this quest. Oh, optional, research skyways. Yeah, I would have loved to have done all this a lot faster, but at this difficulty level, that apparently is incredibly hard. And by the way, unless I am very much mistaken, I do think I've just about explored the entirety of the map. Maybe there's some stuff over here to the left that I've missed, but not an absolute ton. Do we want to disband the entire army? Risky. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Because that's something we were already talking about doing. Unless I'm much mistaken, I would love to think that's going to end the occupation situation. I'd love to think that. I don't know. The Tinkers and the Lochmores still absolutely despise me, and it doesn't look like that's ever going to change, but... Okay. Uh-oh. Wait a minute! No! Something bad has happened! Uh-oh! Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, the thing we all knew was going to happen just unexpectedly happened! Who could possibly have foreseen this coming? The mountain runs red with molten earth and rock and metals and whatever the frick else. Detritus. And the caverns that we were relying on for things like food and stuff are now being filled. Edinburgh might be cooked, ladies and gentlemen. They might be just a little bit toasty. Oh, that's a dramatic shot right there. That's a dramatic shot right there. Me likey a lot. Hello. The volcano has erupted, spewing tons of ash into the air. Volcanic night darkens the land. People panic and turn to crime. Another eruption is certain. Only Aurora is safe. The people who hate us are our salvation. Uh-oh. Yeah, and this begins Act 3, ladies and gentlemen. We might be in a little bit of trouble here. Just a little tiny bit of trouble. This is where everything either comes together or we all die trying. And that's where I'm going to end this video. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I'd ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and join me for the finale very soon. See you next time.